ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on today's episode, we have an update on Joseph Kosinski and the Brad Pitt Formula One movie that's coming to Apple. We'll get to that in the news trailer talk this week. We have a new Prey trailer and Pinocchio. Both start with P's, and that's pretty much where the similarity ends between the two. The new streaming list this week, we get another Marvel show coming to Disney Plus. We'll get to what we're watching, of course, and then our main review for the episode, Jurassic Park. But before we get to any of that, I'm just joined today, of course, by Netronosaurus, Nathaniel Ginger.
What up, folks? I'm the Netronosaurus. Is that a Adam Schwartz creation there? Have you genetically
actually,
engineered
if you check
that?
my Google search history, you will find dinosaurs that begin with the letter N.
Ah, okay.
And I found it under that. So
Cool. Should I Google it and see what I look like?
I did actually Google it. It's pretty cool. You are welcome to do so.
I'm so not spelling that.
It kind of spelled how you'd expect it to be spelled. You know, nothing too fancy.
Whoa, it's like a Stegosaurus, but like bigger.
Yeah, it's got like cool spikes on it. It looks like
Fun.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a real
could be worse,
thing.
yeah.
I think we've created something here.
I don't know. Who knows?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm in.
You down? You like it?
Yes, I am.
Good. Glad to hear it. Well, I'm also joined today, of course, by Tyrannosaurus Tyler Dallas.
I love it.
There's no other word. There's no other.
I know. I really didn't think you could do anything else.
There really wasn't. Like if I even wanted to, I couldn't have.
There's no other dinosaurs that start with T. Is that what we're saying?
No.
Well, TY. It was just perfect.
No, it's none.
No.
Yeah.
Pteranodon.
Well,
I guess that starts with a P, right?
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Pterodactyl. That
starts with a P too.
Ty is in Tyrannosaurus.
Okay, fine. He can have Tyrannosaurus. You've won.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go. Finally, Nathaniel submits. About goddamn time.
Is your dinosaur Nathaniel even a predator?
No.
An herbivore?
No, I'm a big beefy mammal.
He's got spikes.
Dinosaur, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are probably herbivores, though.
100%.
Yeah.
Maybe they chomped on
a.
I'll straight up eat you, dog. I don't care.
I got spikes all over me, bro. You can't even like get close to me. And a big tail. I'll hit you in your arms. You're very tiny.
I don't need them.
You're top heavy. You got a big old dome piece.
It is a big ass head.
Tyler just hits legs. He's like a reverse tabletop. He doesn't do any arms.
Yeah.
He's just shredded with like string bean arms.
Yes.
Biggest quads you've ever seen.
I mean, it's a good look.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll add it to my workout routine.
Who else in the
Give that a shot.
Who else is in the squadron of dinos this week?
Well, of course, rounding out the squadron is big Brontosaurus BlakeHolder.
Hey, what up?
Again, very easy job this week.
Oh, I get it. I'm the hard one.
That might be the only dinosaur I know that starts with a B off the top of my head.
There's
Brachiosaurus.
And I was gonna say Brachiosaurus.
Didn't they find out one of those doesn't exist?
What'd you say?
I thought they found out that like either the Brontosaurus or the Brachiosaurus like doesn't exist. Like they were always just confused for each other, or they're actually both Apatosauruses or something like that.
I cannot.
Maybe dinosaurs don't even exist.
No, you stop that right now.
Has anyone seen one? I mean, come on.
As I've learned, I've seen birds.
And so I came across this whole fucking theory on Reddit that there's obviously it's a meme, it's a joke, but it's that birds aren't real. And I just can't get behind it. It seems too far-fetched.
The birds.
Have any of you guys came across that before?
Isn't that like a meme joke thing?
Yeah, it's definitely like a meme joke, but like some people I think are.
Oh yeah, someone out there believes something.
Yeah, they think they're created by the government to spy on people because they don't see them sleep.
they're
No, it was
drones.
that I know for a fact was a meme joke, and it was to show people how easily he could get people to follow something so stupid on the internet.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
Yeah, I actually heard an interview from the guy who like started that movement, if you want to say. But yeah, it's pretty funny shit either way.
Anyways,
speaking on the before we tangent, speaking on the topic of dinosaurs, I actually got into it's like a classic argument with one of my friends. We got into, I think it was 8th grade, like my best friend. And it was about Transformers. Just kind of a question like, has anybody seen a dinosaur in real life? How do we know they're real? We got into a huge argument about Transformers, and his lone point was that you can't prove that they don't exist because you've never seen them before. And we pretty much got into a fist fight. That's how argumentative we were at that age. And we laugh about it every day to this day. But he's like, yeah, you can't prove they don't exist. That was his stance on something.
I think your friend just discovered religion.
Hey, man, we were 14, different time. 2007, I want to say something like that.
No, I'm just saying in terms of things you have to believe in because there's no verifiable proof they exist. According to some, in a scientific way, you know.
Right.
Schrodinger's transformer, you know.
There you go.
It simultaneously exists and doesn't exist till we don't see it.
Shout out Deji, man. Great guy. Still one of my best friends to this day.
Oh, good to hear it, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys
made it through that argument.
Glad you guys can persevere and overlook the differences between your viewpoints.
That was a crazy day, though. I'll tell you that.
I bet it was. Well, anyway, let's get into the news here, guys. Only one news story this week, and it's kind of a follow-up of something we talked about last week. We brought it up because obviously Joseph Kosinski, the director of Top Gun Maverick, and we also talked about him directing Tron Legacy on what we're watching last week. He is in talks. Well, he's confirmed to be on board with a Formula One movie that's going to be starring Brad Pitt and produced by Brad Pitt's group. What is it called? I think
Plan
it's
B.
Plan what?
Usually it's Plan B.
I've never had to use Plan B, Nathaniel. I don't know what you're talking.
Brad Pitt's production company is called Plan B.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. No, yeah, it is called Plan B.
I just thought we'd just go on that tangent now, you know? Like, hey, guys, quick poll.
That tangent, we can go down that line.
Quick poll. Anyone have to use Plan B? Anyone, listeners? Write in.
I'm gonna have to cut this out here. Papa Schwartz is gonna cut my funding on DC, and man, is it expensive. Anyway, so not only is Brad Pitt and his production company Plan B on board to produce, Sir Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time Formula One world champion, my personal man crush, is also on board to produce, and I'm assuming we'll have some kind of role in filming the actual movie in some way, because Top Gun Maverick has a lot of these shots, obviously, where you're in the cockpit, you're kind of getting that first person, and some of that is practical, some of that is not. It's kind of a mix of the two, but it's done really well either way. And I think Hamilton will probably have a role in kind of creating that in the Formula One sense, where you're kind of you're in the driver's seat, something that you don't really get a lot of in high definition. At least they have recently added those under camera or those helmet cams that kind of go under the visor. That's like the closest we have to that. Obviously, we have like the onboard cams that are really small, but could you imagine high definition Formula One racing? That'd be awesome because all those cameras are pretty low quality. Like they're good, but not great. I can't wait to see that in glorious 4K. But anyway, that's the big news here is that it's officially confirmed with Apple TV Plus. And the interesting thing here is that this took about 5 months to get kind of signed on with Apple, and I guess the contingency of whether it was getting signed or not, or what the deal was hinging on, was the theatrical release for the film. So it's currently structured in a way that would have Apple and the filmmakers split a take from like the theatrical release and the big screen release. About 50-50 is what this is saying here. And also there's going to be that exclusive straight to theaters window of 30 days, but they said it could be as long as 60 days. So that's kind of interesting, especially when you look at, we talked about I think it was like 2 weeks ago or so, how the Oscars have rolled back their their COVID protocols, shall you say, and kind of going back to their old rules where it's a movie has to be released in theaters to qualify for the Oscars. And so all these streaming services that are producing these movies that are getting or are worthy of Oscar noms, because there's quite a few of them even last year, are going to have to figure out a way to get them into theaters if they want to have them get nominated and everything. So kind of going forward, it's going to be interesting to see how these streaming services deal with that distribution, because they're going to have to figure out some way to kind of do it and not only work out a distribution deal with a distributor or a company that can get it to theaters, but then also work out deals with theaters and then the filmmakers, how the cut is split in from the movie, from the money that's made from that. Since if Apple, say, is producing that film, how do you decide how much goes to Apple, how much you decide goes to the people making it? Because it's usually kind of a theatrical cut going that direction as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that evolves, because this seems like it's one of the first cases that we're seeing of that kind of deal being played out, or at least in a post-pandemic, in a post-straight-to-streaming era, I guess.
Sure. I still wonder if it culminates in Apple buying a cinema chain or something like that.
Well, I could very well see it. AMC had a little bit of a boost from that stock bust, or stock heist, is that what you want to call it? I don't know what it was called exactly. Had a little bit of a boost from that, along with GameStop, where they were able to raise their stock price by almost 400%, for better or for worse. But they're still alive in that sense. But I'm sure after a couple of years, it wouldn't be too hard to buy them out, because they obviously have been making less and less and less as the years goes on.
And there may be some law against it or something like that. I don't actually know, but
yeah, probably, because that's definitely getting into the monopoly areas of the law, if that makes sense.
But I mean, at the same way, you can make the same argument that they already have that too with the TVs and going straight to the homes.
I think some people could. Yeah, I think some people could make that argument for sure. Has not, at least as far as I know, has not been brought to any serious court.
Well, in the Squadron Court, it stands. Pow, pow.
Squadron Supreme Court?
Yes.
We're going to need a fifth person to have a deciding
vote. We're foursome.
IMDb is the deciding vote, actually. We're going to put it on
It's
IMDb.
The law of the land.
Yeah, there you go.
Is there a higher law than IMDb? I'm pretty sure it's owned by Amazon, but hey, if you want to give us money.
Is there a higher law than IMDb? Whoever created the Transformers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yes, and.
Yes, and. But yeah, at least besides all that streaming service stuff and theater release stuff, I'm very excited for this movie, especially after Top Gun Maverick, especially after rewatching Tron Legacy last week. I think Kosinski's got a good grip on what it is to film those high octane movies and kind of that rapid pace of that speed. He's definitely proven himself for that, so I'm excited to see what this turns into. And of course, with Hamilton being on there, I think it's going to add a lot of authenticity to it, so he can kind of advise on what to do and to kind of put the film's direction into something that feels more real than, say, like a Rush. Because even that was good, but I feel like they could get even closer to what it's actually like if someone who's obviously one of the best, if not the best of all time, is helping them with that. It's definitely gonna help it go into the right directions.
For sure.
Well, that was the only kind of news story we had this week, but we did have 2 trailers drop. We had a follow-up official trailer for Prey, the straight to Hulu prequel, I don't know, reboot.
Yeah, I don't know where it would be in the timeline. Prequel, I guess.
It definitely looks like a prequel.
Well, yeah, it's like the earliest in the timeline of Predator movies, as far as I'm
pretty sure that's a prequel. Yeah. That's almost the textbook definition of prequel right there.
Yes, but also it's not like
it's also part of the lore. The lore extends beyond that.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, new Prey movie / Predator movie coming to Hulu August 15th, I believe is the official date, from the same director as 10 Cloverfield Lane. I forget his name off the top of my head.
Dan Trachtenberg.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone has to have a master's degree on the show, huh? Comes in handy.
No, I'll give it back. Didn't I give it back at one point?
He's given it back too many times for the count.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still here. Anyway, well, I guess I'll hand this off to Nathaniel and Blake first. I mean, you guys are obviously the biggest Predator fans, probably. So, thoughts here on this full official trailer? We saw much more now than we did in that teaser.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely watch it. I think it's a good idea, as we've talked about before. Take the Predator and put it in less modern times and just let it run. And nothing in this gave me anything to say that I wouldn't see it. I like the traps; those seem fun. I like the setting. The effects look pretty good so far, so I'm in.
Yeah. I think I'm with Nathaniel on this one, where, I mean, you guys know I'm a huge fan of kind of the Predator universe as well as the Alien universe. So I probably go and watch this one regardless of what's going on. But yeah, it looks good. The only thing that I guess kind of overbearing concern I have is just how, like, the like, my extension of disbelief is going to be of like people with no advanced weaponry beating a Predator.
Sure.
Right. That's like the biggest
exactly
thing I have to overcome. But I mean, that's part of art and movies. You know what I mean? You have to extend that disbelief. So, but outside of that, though, man, I'm sold.
Tyler?
I agree. These some of these have been a little crazy lately.
Sure.
Like the last one. We can all concur that it is not the greatest of movies, but yeah, I think taking it back to this time period will be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely excited for it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. And I'm definitely with you there, Blake, where it's like, how do you even expect them to compete with a Predator?
Sure.
Like, they're using,
Right.
tomahawks and hatchets basically. And there are some guns in this trailer from colonists, it seems like, but even those are muskets. So
Yeah.
like, should be interesting.
Musket?
Yeah, that's when the Second Amendment was, really meant to be enforced. You know what I'm saying?
Against the Predators.
Against
the Predator, yeah.
Yeah.
They left that part out in the Constitution.
That would have been a big like asterisk, pretty big footnote there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that definitely looks good. That sequence of the bear at the beginning of the trailer was really cool. You kind of knew what was gonna happen, but even then, I was like, it's so cool to see it, especially how he just drags the bear out like it doesn't weigh anything, even though it probably weighs 1,500 pounds. Like, oh yeah, really cool stuff. I haven't seen any Predator movies. I should probably make that known. So we'll have to go on to the pod before this comes out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm even that being said, I'm aware of the franchise and aware of the character or whatever you want to call it, but definitely gonna check this one out.
Classic Arnie movie. First Predator.
What did you say?
It's a classic Arnie movie.
Arnie?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know what you were referencing. I was like, is that a type of movie? I don't know.
Oh, genre. The Arnie movies, The
Arnie, yeah, the Arnie movies.
I guess there is an argument. There is a genre of Arnie movies.
Sure. Okay. You got me there. Yeah, but I definitely like the setting in the time period that they're going for here.
Yeah, it seems awesome.
Besides the fact that it's like, how are they gonna kill this thing? But I guess that's a problem for the characters to find out, and for me to enjoy.
Yeah, it would be the first thing you'd kind of want to solve, right? Like if you're like, hey, we're putting this in this time period, how are they gonna possibly do this? Well, that's the story of the story. That's the film, guys. Oh man, we are so cool. We're getting meta. We're getting meta in here today, folks.
Do you think they try to nerf the Predator in some way?
No.
They take away something, or something happened.
The only thing I can think is like the technology aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Just obviously they're a more advanced race, but
they're too advanced.
Are they still like what advancements have they come from where they're at now to where they are?
Yeah.
Could be a real Return of the Jedi Yavin 4 situation.
True.
Just a real Ewok fest.
That's quite the comparison. Yeah, definitely Ewok fest. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to our next trailer, which, as I said at the top of the show, really couldn't be a more different movie to compare.
Could it?
To.
if it goes,
maybe it's in the same universe. You never know.
I feel like this is one of those trailers where if you took the Disney theme out and put like slow, creepy music in instead, you
Definitely.
could
Like,
easily put this.
What if you switch the music from these two trailers? Yeah. So we get on that. I would if I wasn't
That's
busy.
any teaser though, right? That's kind of the point of the teaser.
Yeah, that's true. Do you guys? I don't care for this at all.
Yeah,
My only thing that excites me is Tom Hanks. That's about it.
it's an interesting question, right? Because it's like we're now to the point with these that the big nostalgia movies from our generation are more or less kind of taken care of at this point. So you're picking Pinocchio and going with it, and that's just such an old thing that is so outdated. It's like it's the Dumbo problem again too. You know, that's just such an old Disney property. I don't know that there's anyone that's really going to interact with it as much as they want. But then again, you know, diehard Disneys, you know, they know what they're making off of this, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Pinocchio is one.
Terrified me as a kid.
Yeah, I've seen the original as a child, but haven't seen it since. And I just don't care for it. I mean, Tom Hanks in this kind of role, I think would be fun to watch, but I don't have any particular attachment to Pinocchio or that original film. So I just don't know if I really care. Also, the CGI and like the animals and everything looks a little. I don't want to say like subpar because it looks fine, but like compared to other Disney movies we've seen recently and all these other live action adaptations, like it does not look nearly as good.
Seems more cartoony.
Yeah, definitely
more
does,
stylized.
which could be a stylized choice for sure. So I don't want to discount it too much.
And what I will say is it's Robert Zemeckis who definitely knows how to make this kind of film for sure. You know,
Sure. That was the other thing that I noticed, as I do like Robert Zemeckis a lot.
Pretty sure he was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I don't know for sure on that one. I believe so. I believe you're right, but I do know for sure he was Back to the Future. That one's a given.
True. Yeah, that was also Zemeckis. So definitely a known worker in the, you know, live action animated realm.
Yes. Doc Brown, of course, as everyone knows, animated in Back to the Future.
Yeah. Really
CGI,
old motion capture, but incredible.
They really took a giant leap forward with Tron, released just 2 years earlier.
And then we regressed because it was all on a hard drive.
Exactly. Yeah. Another interesting thing in this trailer is at the end it says parents stream.
Yeah, I did notice that. I did notice that as well.
It's just so interesting to me. You could have told me 2 years ago that would be happening, and like that's the thing they're gonna put in the trailer and advertise to people is the fact that you can like stream it instantly. That's just so interesting to see that change so quickly, and like just that they're just leaning into it fully. Like parents, you don't even have to go to the theaters and entertain your kids for $30 at home. You can finally take a nap.
Well, I wonder if that's almost like a test run in a place where theaters are more open now. You know, is the day and date model still viable and that kind of thing for these kind of mid-tier movies? You know,
I think for parents, it definitely could be. I mean,
well,
if you have two kids, you're instantly saving money. Honestly, even if you have one, depending on how much movie tickets are, because you're gonna have to buy one for the parent and one for their kid. So
it's good math.
Thank you. Yes, no, I'm great at counting up to 2. So you're pretty much instantly saving money by just streaming it there, and then you don't have to worry about going to the theater. You don't have to worry about your kid being an ass in the theater, like that kind of thing, and it's just right there for you. So I think it does make a lot of sense in that situation.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Ty, is kind of our resident Disney expert / biggest fan. Any reaction here from you?
I guess we'll see. You know, kind of as this kind of gets a little closer. I never. Again, this one's a little older, kind of like what Nathaniel was saying. So it's a little out of my wheelhouse. I have vague memories of watching like the original movie, but it was like specifically at my grandma's house. Never really like watched it at home or anything like that. But I always thought Pinocchio's a fairly it's a fairly good story, and it's, there's a lot there, so I think they can definitely get away with it. It just the biggest thing for me, based on the trailer or judging off the trailer, is whether or not this is going to be overly CGI'd. At least with like the Beauty and the Beast and the Lion King, it's really good. This almost looks like it's kind of still playing to the like cartoony side. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see kind of as we get a little bit closer, but it's Disney, so I'm sure Carolee and I will get around to it.
There's a certain level of quality kind of assured with that, isn't there? Or at least they want you to think so.
Yeah, right.
Very fair. All right, well, that's it here for trailer talk. Unless, Blake, do you have anything you want to add? I know you're a huge Pinocchio fan.
No, I think you guys pretty much hit on that. I probably won't even watch that thing, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either.
Not even Tom Hanks can bring you in, huh?
No, I don't think so, fellas. I just don't think so.
What if I told you Florence Pugh was voicing Pinocchio?
How did I know that was going to come in somehow? Would that get me to watch a Pinocchio movie? Possibly.
And Anya Taylor-Joy is voicing the whale.
Yeah.
I think, I think that'd be enough to sell me.
Okay.
This is the famous Blake meter. If Florence Pugh was in the movie, would you go see it? That's what you need on that whiteboard behind you each week. Is the Blake meter?
the Blake meter. Yeah. It's just binary. Is Florence Pugh in this movie?
Yes or no?
0. Yes or no? All right. Well, that's it here for trailer talk. We can just move right on into Adam Schwartz's completely subjective, new to streaming.
You say completely subjective. Not even
100%.
moderately subjective?
No, it's 100% subjective just because no one else really has input besides me. The original concept for this list was I would put the links in the show notes, and then everyone goes through and selects the movies they want to put on it. And then just no one did that. So it just turned into my subjective list, and I'm okay with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Until we stage a coup.
June 11th. Yeah, you're gonna hijack
the subjective movie list. Yeah.
Humble brag, master degree guys, subjective new streaming list.
Now I'm bringing the other two in too. We're
right.
It's a 3-man revolt, obviously.
Good. You're gonna need more than 3 men to break into my super secret Google Drive and get into the
Google the public Google Drive that we have.
The Google Drive that you guys have access to.
Okay, good.
I'm
in.
Can look at. Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh, you already hacked it?
I'm already through. I already blew past the firewall. I was like, it's nothing.
I didn't hear any typing keys, so I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if I can confirm that, but I'll go with you.
Please.
Ty just went to go get a salty snack from the vending machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He used the magic word.
Yeah, he didn't use the exactly. He used the magic word. That's all you need. He's actually the vault breaker or whatever from Army of Thieves or Army of. Is that what they're called? Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name? He was like the European guy or something, right?
I forgot I forgot both the character and the actor's name.
Let's call him Hansel.
I think it was with an H, but I don't remember it and don't care enough to look it up. So Netflix is getting Hustle. This is Adam Sandler in a basketball movie where he is a basketball scout who discovers a new street player that could get him back into the good books and revive his career.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say Hustle and Flow.
No.
Do you know what that movie is?
I don't.
Hustle and Flow? Oh, man.
Do you, Nathaniel?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Dude, I used to fucking watch Hustle and Flow like once a week.
Yeah, that's a classic movie, dude.
Move that trick, dude. I was fucking. I was on my. I was like on the fucking coffee table, like knocking shit over. I don't give a fuck. I was hyped.
Yeah, that's a movie that's got one of the best original songs ever created in a movie. So, like, for Adam's reference, they're like rappers in the movie, but they create an album in the movie.
Okay.
And one of the songs is like an all-time classic. That's the song Tyler's talking about. And it's so catchy, and yeah, it's got Terrence Howard in it. So
it does.
But yeah, nonetheless, Adam Sandler in
a basketball movie.
In the sequel.
Who's actually pretty good at basketball. Have you guys ever seen Adam Sandler?
I've seen him play. Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I've seen him play like pickup games, like celebrity pickup games. He's got a good jump shot.
Yeah.
Dirty Daddy, a tribute to Bob Saget. A celebration of Bob's life and comedy with his friends and family. So nice little tribute to him.
Is that the joke you go with? Dirty Daddy? Is that where we're going with that one?
I wouldn't personally, but that's what they went with. So I can obviously,
All right.
they were getting
More power to
paid a lot of money. So Peaky Blinders season 6, the 6th and final, albeit not the end, a movie is on the way, season of the BBC historical series starring Cillian Murphy. This is a show I've heard like so many people tell me I should get into, and I've heard great things.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people like it too.
Yeah, so maybe now that this is the final season and there's a movie out, maybe I'll give it a shot sometime soon. But I feel like I say that about so many things, and I just only have so much time. And the last thing coming to Netflix is Vice, the 2018 biopic on Dick Cheney. Talk about people who look unrecognizable in the role. Christian Bale.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think at some point they should be like, Christian Bale is playing this character, and then like 6 months after the movie releases, it comes out that it was actually played by like Brad Pitt.
It's just someone else.
No one, yeah, it was just someone else in different makeup and everything, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Christian Bale is so good," and you can't recognize him to the point where you just find out
you just swap out a different actor,
Leonardo DiCaprio, the whole time.
That'd be funny.
Or they reveal it at the Oscars, like it wins best actor, and then instead of Christian Bale, Leo comes up on stage. He goes, "It's me." That'd be funny.
I feel like this is more likely to happen with like Sacha Baron Cohen, but
that could definitely be a bit. Amazon Prime is getting Anchorman 2. The Legend Continues.
Anyone ever seen that? I have not.
I have not.
I've heard it's terrible.
Bad.
Yeah,
I've heard it's really bad. The first one came to Netflix last week, I believe. So if you want to watch that one, it's there. Amazon's also getting No Time to Die, so that's finally coming to a streaming service. And The Wolf of Wall Street. Speaking of Leo, Hulu and HBO Max aren't really getting anything. Disney Plus is getting Obi-Wan Episode 4. And then Miss Marvel Episode 1, the first episode of that series. That's a new one. And then Beyond Infinity, Buzz and the Journey to Lightyear. So this is that Buzz Lightyear movie coming straight to streaming, apparently. I didn't realize that, but...
No, I thought that was only going to theaters.
No, it is. It is. I feel like this is a documentary.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't remember seeing what the description on this was, but let me look it up really quick.
I'm just judging that off the title.
Yeah, because the movie itself is called Lightyear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that just as I was reading this. I was doing a lot when creating the show notes today, so it's been a long week.
All good, but yeah, they've been doing kind of similar things with like the Star Wars lead-ups and this Marvel lead-ups, so I wouldn't be surprised if they bring over Pixar, which is like their other big arm of Disney Plus, obviously.
Here we go. Explore the evolution of Buzz Lightyear from toy to human in the making of Pixar's Lightyear. Dive into the origin and cultural impact of everyone's favorite space ranger, the art of designing a new human Buzz, and the challenges faced by the Lightyear crew along the way. It seems like it's a behind-the-scene kind of, looking into how they decided they want to make this Lightyear solo film.
Cool.
Kind of the production behind it as well. So you have that. But that's it for the new streaming list here. Get on to what we're watching. I will kick it off with one BlakeHolder.
I didn't get to much. The only thing I really got to this week, I rewatched The Descent.
Podcast favorite.
Yeah. I don't know but actually, I think I was on YouTube, following the guy I follow, Flick Connections, kind of lists things that are just kind of hidden gems sometimes, and somehow he was listing like top horror movies of like the 2000s or something of that nature, and The Descent came in at like, I think it was like number 6 or something on his list. Then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go rewatch that, and he had it in front of a handful of good movies, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It was from 2000 on, so I mean, he had it listed before like The Conjuring, for example, before It Chapter 1. Those movies that are just like notorious in like the commercial community of movies. And I was like, let me go back and rewatch that. And I love that movie, man.
Yeah.
So there's really no way around it. It's still so unsettling when you're watching it, just in terms of the claustrophobia and the environment. I mean, spoiler alert for a 20-year-old movie, and we've had an episode on it, but like you don't even get monsters in it till like minute like 53. Like I had to like stop it, and I was like, when did they finally show a monster? And they finally showed it. It's a minute 53, and I'm like, dude, so you basically have an hour of the movie before you even see what's going on.
That's pretty wild.
And even before you see the monster, I mean, they're in the cave for probably 25 plus minutes.
Sure.
And that's already unsettling, watching them crawl through like fucking cadavers and holes and shit like that. It's good, man. I love that movie. Then I saw it on the Entropy list at like 60 something. I saw it below The Strangers. I saw it below The Conjuring. I saw it below Halloween 2018. I saw it below X, and I was like, we failed society.
A single tear rolled down his cheek.
Yeah, that was tough. But yeah, that's all I got to. Outside of that, just podcast, sports, watching a ton of the NBA finals, just kind of stuff like that. That's about it.
For sure.
Ty?
Oh my god, you guys want to know what I was watching, dude?
What were you watching?
Let me tell you a little something. Stranger Things no. Just run through it. I'm still on my Stranger Things kick, and we were just telling Blake that it's good. I believe Nathaniel is also on said kick.
Yeah.
Been really great so far. I think I'm through episode 5, so I'm excited to see where the season goes. It looks like a lot of fun so far, so very fun. Obi-Wan, episode 3.
I've not seen it.
Oh,
great.
My God.
Are you really gonna blame me?
Yes.
I'm a little busy. All right, fine. If you guys want a spoiler talk about it, I can totally take my headphones off and mark down timestamps. I don't know if that you feel that's necessary. You would be a better judge.
You want to wait until you've seen it?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't care. If you guys want to talk about it, go right ahead.
No, I mean we've already talked. So.
Well, do you feel like it would be worthy for the listeners to hear what you guys have to say?
Oh yeah, 100%, especially if they've seen it.
All right, well then go ahead and fucking talk about it then. I don't care. Y'all ain't doing. I don't. All right, here. Let me just mark down the timestamp quick. Actually, just start talking. I'll be fine. I'll mark them down.
All right. So listeners, holy fuck!
Spoilers, by the way. I'll play the spoiler sound. There you go.
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down. Our boy sees his boy, and they're fighting. Well, he's getting his ass kicked.
so Vader's in play.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen. It's not just someone who's gonna sit in the background and bark orders around. He's fucking in, and he's got one goal, and he almost achieved it right away.
Yeah, he's after our old friend Obi-Wan, and his Obi-Wan hasn't seen him at all, it seems like, and this is kind of the first time. Yeah, first time he's having any sort of kind of connection with him. I think my biggest takeaway, just to kind of keep this as brief as we can, is this is the first series or the first kind of collection, and you and I briefly talked about this as well, where I truly feel like the person under the Vader suit is Anakin Skywalker. And, just because where you start with episode 4, like most people do, he's already Vader, obviously, and then the prequels are all kind of that, but you only get, a brief glimpse of him in the suit, really. This has been the first kind of media that I've interacted with that I truly feel like, okay, that's Anakin under that suit, who is now Darth Vader, and he is, fighting Obi-Wan and having that battle, so.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps everything up from that. Just super, super exciting. It's amazing to see that this part of everything that Star Wars is, that this isn't a TV show. It almost seems crazy because like this is almost movie worthy.
Sure.
So it's pretty crazy to see something like this on a TV show, but it's fucking insane, man. It's a lot of fun, and I'm excited. There's some little nitpicky things that everybody's been kind of talking about,
for sure,
but it's been really fun so far, and I'm excited to see where the last 3 episodes go.
Absolutely.
Lightsabers.
All right, hi.
What's up, dude?
What's up? I tried to go see if I could write something on the whiteboard behind me, and then I realized there's no dry erase marker, so that was disappointing.
Let's bring your own
And
marker.
I found out there's a router right down here, and I think it has an Ethernet port actually. So
Nice.
I might bring down the Ethernet cable that I brought with me.
Hardwire, baby.
Yeah, because the Wi-Fi is decent, not great. I was actually really nervous about downloading this episode once it's over, because it's probably going to take an hour
for sure.
over Wi-Fi. So, it's good for everything I've needed it to do so far. But I started watching Jurassic Park on my laptop, and it started in 720p, and I kept refreshing the page, and then eventually I got it to stream in 1080. So I was like, yes. So, yeah. Well,
720 though gives you some more of a nostalgic feel to it.
Yeah, I was like,
I
you
was
know what,
gonna
I
say
can rock
that.
with this
OG.
one. I
That's
was
probably
like,
how
you
this
know
should
what,
be
with,
watched.
with this, yeah, I was like, yeah, this one it's fine, but I was just like, this could be better. But yeah, that's the same router I have in my apartment, so actually maybe I can do that there as well. But anyway, that's not important.
Tyler, any other things you watched?
Yeah, I got more.
Go for it.
So that was Obi-Wan. Carolee and I have this show called Wild Babies. I've talked about it on here before, but we don't get to watch as many episodes because we are both very busy. But we got to another episode of that. Cute, wild baby animals going through a journey of being a newborn baby. So cute
Fun.
shit.
What animals did they have on there? This week?
There's a group of lions, 2 boys and a girl. There's a seal. There is, what's the other one? I don't remember. There's a sand shrew kind of thing. Sand shrew is a Pokemon, so if you don't know Pokemon, that won't really pertain to you at all. But you're welcome. It's kind of like an anteater, but it's not an ant. It's like if somebody took an anteater and an armadillo and put them together, that's what this animal is. So yeah, they're cool. Huh?
A pangolin.
So
It's
yeah,
It's like a little armadillo anteater thing. It's called a pangolin. Maybe that's what it was. I was taking a shot. Come on, guys.
it might be.
I think it's a pangolin.
It just sounds
We're gonna
funny.
go with it just for Nathaniel.
Thank you.
Agreed. Northman is on Peacock, so
Yeah.
I did not watch the whole thing. I got to just a little bit of it, but I definitely want to revisit that as a whole. So, but since we watched it, I figured even though I watched a little bit of it, it was still noteworthy.
Should I
And then,
add Peacock and Paramount Plus to the new stream? Okay,
Nah, you're good.
good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
And then I'm Justin and Brett and I all hang out. Brett is moving to North Carolina, and it was we just wanted to get some of the Justin and Brett and I all grew up in the same cul-de-sac, so it's a very nostalgic group, and so I just wanted to have Brett over before he moves and kind of hang out. And so we actually got around to Speed Cruise Control, which is the second one of the Speed installments, and you should just go watch it. If you haven't watched Speed, please go watch it, and if you haven't watched Speed Cruise Control, please do yourself a favor and watch it.
Is Speed Cruise Control takes place on a boat?
It's on a cruise.
So that's where the cruise control comes in. I was like, I don't think boats have cruise control, do they?
No, they got to.
Maybe some form, but not like what you would normally think of.
Yeah. But I'll leave you with this. The villain of the movie is Willem Dafoe.
Man.
So do with that what you will.
Add another one to the Blake meter.
Yeah, that may give me
One.
the watches, guys. Especially as a villain.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I have to find some dry erase markers.
So other than that's all I got to. Obviously, JP. But Nathaniel, what have you been watching?
Yeah.
JP. Hang on, JP?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
I see.
Somebody get this kid a Happy Meal.
Gen Zers. I tell you. So yeah, I got to a few things this week. I got to Stranger Things. I'm on. We just finished episode 3 earlier, so I am enjoying that as well. More than I thought I would. Definitely playing to my horror.
Your horror.
My horror. I always struggle in actually rolling my R's through on that one. My horror background. I don't know. Horror genre enjoyment.
I gotcha.
Yeah, my horror background. That time I was a prostitute.
Yeah, that's where Nathaniel, that Plan B came in clutch.
Yes, yeah, Brad Pitt's. Brad Pitt's production company. Yeah. But yeah, Stranger Things episode 1 through 3 definitely going for more of a spooky vibe this season. I'm enjoying it. They can keep doing that, and I'll keep watching it. I got to a movie called RRR. Now, if you guys haven't heard about this yet, it's a 3-hour Indian epic.
Oh, I have heard about this.
Yes.
I saw one reference of it on Twitter, but that was it.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix now. It's an action movie, it's a dance movie, it's a musical, it's got everything in it.
Hello?
It's a little bit more kind of like it's an experience. It's hard to describe. It centers on two kind of like heroes from the Indian Revolution, and like they never met in real life, but it kind of creates a friendship between them of what that might look like and everything like that. But yeah, it's crazy. And
this is just Bollywood.
Yeah, I believe it's an offshoot of Bollywood called Tollywood, technically, because it's from a specific region in India.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and the British get to be the bad guys, so that's always fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
But yeah, it is crazy and it's awesome, and I would definitely recommend watching it if you think you might enjoy it. Look up a trailer online. Don't do the one on Netflix because it's just like a clip from the movie and it's not that exciting. You need to better understand what this movie is. But yeah, definitely a recommend from me. I got to a favorite of mine, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? First time Waz got to see that movie, so that was really cool. I got to Kenobi episode 3 as well. Watched Winter Soldier this week, second Captain America movie. That's always a classic.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely, I think, somehow one of the more underrated but still better Marvel movies in some ways too. Like,
is it underrated? I feel like a lot of people love that
it's got to be top 4.
But I think like
Marvel movies.
I feel like people's like Endgame and like Infinity War have like overshadowed it at this point. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
I got to obviously Jurassic Park, and I got to actually The Lost World as well too, the sequel to Jurassic Park. So that was awesome. I'm watching it currently on the streaming service HBO Max in the background here as well. I cannot believe the difference in this streaming quality to a 4K disc. It is crazy. But anyways,
really? Yeah.
It is pretty wild.
And then the last thing I got to, which was a new one for me, was actually Kiki's Delivery Service, which I'm sure Tyler might have seen before, if any of them.
I am aware of it.
You see the Kinky Delivery Service?
Kiki's.
You're on a roll tonight.
Kiki's.
Kiki, okay.
It's a Hayao Miyazaki movie, so it's a Studio Ghibli film. It's about yeah.
I apologize for making fun of it then.
Oh well, yeah, you should.
I meant no disrespect.
I will. I'll read the IMDb summary here on IMDb. It says a young witch on her mandatory year of independent life finds fitting into a new community difficult, where she supports herself by running an air courier service. So yeah, it's kind of set in like a turn of the century medieval-ish kind of town, and Kiki is this small 13-year-old witch who is off to do her year of training, and she decides that flying is her thing, so she'll start delivering packages for folks. And like a lot of like Studio Ghibli movies, it's kind of a little bit more low stakes, or in some ways, or it feels a little bit more gentle than kind of like your American counterparts.
Oh man, Spirited Away.
Oh yeah, well yeah, obviously he can go in the opposite direction too, but like yeah, it was just a really nice movie. Like it's a nice film. So I recommend it for sure if you want something just light and easy to watch. So that was it for me this week. Adam, close us out. What'd you get to?
As you can imagine, not much. I mean, we recorded it last Tuesday, and then the day after I went to the Cubs game, and the night after that I was packing for DC, and then I have arrived in DC Friday. So I haven't really been able to watch much since I've gotten here. Kind of just been doing a bunch of other stuff and getting around, that kind of thing. But The only thing I've watched was one of the nights that we got here. We put on my roommates put on The King's Man.
Oh, the new one.
The third, the new one, the third one
Yeah.
of the Kingsman series, which I personally didn't like the first one and didn't bother to see the second one or the third. So I haven't seen the second one. It didn't really affect me that much.
Sure.
In this watching, it was fine. Still don't really like them. The action choreography is kind of cool, but it's still not really my movie. Would just much prefer John Wick, and I think I've just landed. That's watching this kind of locked that in for me.
I like my action straight up. I do not
Yeah.
want any sassy action in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. I eventually plan on getting to Kenobi episode 3 and 4, probably sometime this weekend, or sooner. We'll see. But yeah, we'll get around to that kind of stuff. And I'm sure I'll have enough time to. I plan on going back and watching Moon Knight and maybe get into some other stuff this summer. But right now, I just haven't had a chance to slow down and enjoy anything. Also, the apartment I'm in. Thought the TV would be. I knew it was gonna be bad. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. It's like a not even a 32. It might be like a 32 or like 40-inch, like Dynex 1080p
Oh
TV
yeah,
from,
baby.
like,
Walmart
2009.
for days or Best Buy. Yeah.
It's bad. So my laptop is where I watch JP, and we'll probably continue to watch things because it's not even like we have a Fire Stick, but it's not even worth it.
Well,
like,
we'll get to go to some movies that'll be in theaters here soon.
Yeah,
so.
we got actually a lot of new movies coming up, which I haven't even looked around for movie theaters near me, but I do know my brother who visited DC last summer said there was like a really cool AMC not too far from me. So and there's the metro system. I'm gonna find one. Or maybe I'll go to multiple. Maybe I'll find the ragtag cinema of DC. Maybe there's some kind of indie spot I can check out. But yeah, I'm excited to go to kind of the theater and watch it there because I do miss my OLED.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the quality of the TV because that's kind of something I brought up when I was in Houston last week at our Airbnb.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, it's like the curse of working at Best Buy.
Right.
It really is.
So
No, it
accustomed
really is.
Yeah. Watching things on a good screen, a good TV, having good audio and things of that nature. Then like, it's like, dude, I almost can't even watch this.
Now
You know
it's
what
a
I mean?
curse,
So,
man. Yeah, no, 100%. And it's like most people, like 98% of people don't care at all.
No.
Don't care at all.
That
Don't
makes
even,
sense too.
Yeah, I can't blame them for it.
Mhm.
Most people are going to care about that kind of thing. But once you do, there's no going back. Once you have an OLED, there's no going back. You will forever be bothered by anything LCD.
Anyways, this segment's sponsored by Best Buy. Come see us at the store this weekend.
the LG G, what is it? G1. I don't know what the latest one is.
Allegedly. Don't come after us, Best Buy.
Or do. I don't care.
Wow.
You can
Go after
Anyway.
Adam. Don't go after me.
Yeah, go after me. I have the least invested low stakes into that. Just let me keep my employee discount, and we can be friends. Best Buy. Anyway, JP, Jurassic Park, the OG.
Oh boy.
Like I said, watched this on my laptop. I compensated bad visuals for enhanced audio in some respects because I watched them with my XM4s on. So had some good directional audio. I even went as far as to plug in the cable so I didn't have any Bluetooth delay or anything like that. Turn on the noise canceling. So you know what? I felt like I did everything I could to get the best experience I could out of this. It's still, decent display. It's it's 60 hertz. I can tell the frame rate's a little lackluster, but we did what we could. We're gonna make the best of the situation. It's only temporary. But yeah, Jurassic Park. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new, or maybe they just forgotten, can you give a rundown of how the review segment works here at Back Row Banter?
What up, folks? If you are new or if you perhaps just forgotten, the way the main review segment works here on Back Row Banter is it is split into two sections. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go through the IMDb plot summary, any interesting things on there What was that? It sounded like a roar in the background. There's a dinosaur.
I got my patio door open and it's a train.
Gotcha.
My apologies.
No worries. It was adding a little extra effect there. I was into it. But yeah, so it's split into two sections. We'll go around the squadron, decide if we would recommend the movie. Has to be a yes or no. We'll go through the IMDb plot summary. That's what I was saying earlier. Cast, crew, all that good stuff. And then we'll go into the spoiler section. I will play the spoiler noise so that you can know that we're going into the spoiler section, though it is a movie from, 93? And you will talk more about it. We'll go deep into our thoughts and, any plot twists or anything like that for the movie. And do come back, though, if you don't want to have it spoiled for you, because we are going to rank it up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. With that being said, it is my great pleasure to talk about Jurassic Park. Adam, tell me about it.
I don't even know if I want to tell you about it. I want to hear you tell me about it this time, Nathaniel, because this is what your favorite movie of all time, or you've watched more than anything else. I remember one of the earliest stories you told on this podcast was how, as a child, your parents had to get you a second VHS tape of this movie because you watched it so many times that you wore through the original tape.
Yes,
that you had.
Yes, that is a true story. We did have to get a second copy of the movie because I watched it so many times. This is one of my absolute all-time favorite movies. I refer to it as like a DNA movie for me. So this will be a very interesting Entropy list, I think. But yeah, it's Jurassic Park. What do you need to know? It's 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum. Is it Richard? Yeah, Richard Attenborough, Bob Peck, Martin Ferrero, and let's say B.D. Wong, Joseph Mazzalo, and Ariana Richards, and a supporting cast by Samuel L. Jackson and Wayne Knight. We won't forget them either.
Of course.
And some other pretty great dinosaurs. But if you've never heard the IMDb summary, it goes like this. A pragmatic paleontologist touring an almost complete theme park on an island in Central America is tasked with protecting a couple of kids after a power failure causes the park's cloned dinosaurs to run loose. Adam,
pretty good.
Your thoughts?
Pretty good. I don't really have much else to say about that one. That was not spoilery, but also like you get the gist.
Yeah,
it gets you there.
It cuts out. It's mainly what Sam Neill's doing, I'd say, who's more or less the main character in this, but it's a little bit more of an ensemble piece than I would say that summary has you believe.
Ensemble piece for sure. It's hard to pinpoint one person as the main character. You obviously have Sam Neill is kind of given that role.
Yeah.
If anyone is, it's him. But yeah, definitely. The whole cast is involved in this story. It's not necessarily one man's tale. Or woman's tale, if you're Laura Dern.
Script is based off the book by Michael Crichton, obviously a pretty well-known novelist, and then it is adapted by David Koepp, or I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Koepp, so it could be something else.
Welcome to my hell, Nathaniel.
Could be Cape, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
That's more or less it. That's kind of the IMDb summary. I will kick it over to actually Adam. Tell me, how many times have you seen this movie? I've seen this like probably north of 50.
Seen it as a kid. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 times as a kid, and then didn't watch it for a very long time to the point where it was like I didn't remember it anymore. And then I remember rewatching it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Sure.
Sometime like early high school, I believe. So it wasn't like super recently, but it was enough for like I remember rewatching it somewhat recently.
Gotcha.
And so this is probably watch 4 or 5 in total, but realistically, basically my second watch.
Okay.
Second or third watch in some respects. I don't have an exact number to give you here, but yeah. Going back this time around, still really enjoy it. It's not like I suddenly hate this movie or adore this movie any more than I did the first time. I did have such a different perspective watching this for sure, since I've learned so much about film, both through this podcast and through school and everything like that, where I was able to look at this definitely with a different lens and from a different perspective than I'd kind of had before, as far as both the filmmaking aspects and other themes around it, which I'd love to get into in spoilers, but definitely enjoy this all around. It's obviously a classic for a reason. You've probably seen this. You've definitely heard of it. I'd be shocked if anyone hasn't heard of Jurassic Park 30 years after it's been released, because this is probably like the one movie like everyone knows. Like you say Jurassic Park, people know exactly what you're talking about. This is one of the biggest franchises ever, really. So yeah, you kind of know what you're getting in for. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, you know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, I don't know what to tell you. So, Ty?
It's Jurassic Park.
JP. Is that what all the cool kids called it in the 90s? JP?
No, we just started calling it that recently for Call of Duty.
That's right. Yeah, JP
Okay.
loadouts.
We, I think, yeah, we watched this at one point, and then we were like, we need to make Jurassic Park loadouts, and the rule is you have to run a spaz, and your other gun can be whatever it is, but you have to run the spaz shotgun.
Yeah. With the collapsible stock, if you can get it, you try and get it as close as you can to the thing, and then you have to run in your most Jurassic Park-like outfit as well, too. Obviously,
100%. Yeah, you have to be dressed for anything,
for a tour
really.
of the island.
You never really know what can happen out there. But anyways, yeah, this is Jurassic Park. I'm with Nathaniel on this. I've seen this. I don't even know, man.
Right?
This was like one of the first movies that I actually saw in a drive-in. So
That'd be an
like,
awesome experience.
Really? That's
oh,
yeah,
dude, it was
that's pretty
sick. Yeah, yeah. It was just like Justin and I and my mom and dad and in a drive-in, and it was crazy, dude.
Did you
So
have
good.
Did you have glasses of water or soda around, and then like when the T-Rex stomped, you got to see them shake as well too?
I wasn't paying attention that much back
Makes
then.
sense. Yeah, makes
because I
sense.
was fairly young.
Truth.
I was.
I'll
probably
ask your
walking
dad.
around.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I was -7.
Yeah, that's true. Your parents probably saw it, maybe though, right?
Oh, they definitely saw it. Yeah, they were married at this point.
Yeah.
This is around the time my brother would have been born. So,
See, there you go. Yeah, my parents tell the story like they basically brought it home one day, sat me on the couch, and I just never got up from watching it or anything like that.
Even after they turned the TV off, you're still sitting there.
I loved this movie. It captured my imagination. It was everything to me, in a lot of those ways.
were you a big like dinosaur kid?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, what little boy in the 90s wasn't in some ways, like I was definitely into that.
To an extent, a little bit when I was younger, not for a very long time, but honestly, I think a lot of young boys have fascination with dinosaurs. They go through that phase.
Yeah,
I think
of course.
a lot of people do.
I think mine was probably a little bit longer than most people's, but like now I look back at it, and it's like you were in love with film, obviously, but at the time, all you can say is, "Oh, the dinosaurs," like
So did this inspire your dinosaur fascination, or was this?
I can't remember, dude. I was so young.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can't remember for sure, but I think it might have coincided kind of around the same time or something like that. But yeah. I was arguably too young to be watching this movie, but it didn't matter. It was great. But yeah, I mean, obviously a recommend for me. I don't know. Do we want to talk about this a little bit more? The acting's great from everyone. I think the fact that they're good actors, they're not huge stars. Samuel L. Jackson maybe today is probably still the most recognizable person in this and everything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously that keeps costs down, and as we talk, helps with that suspension of disbelief a little bit. I think the movie does a great job of basically handing you the exposition of this is how we did this, and you never really question it or anything like that. It's Spielberg at the height of his powers in terms of everything builds on top of each other. There's never any kind of dead space in terms of feeling like it's not moving anything. It's not moving anywhere or anything like that. Plot informs everything else, keeps everything going. I might have told this story on the podcast before, but like I can remember that I've seen this movie so many times, and I was watching this movie so early that I remember the time when I made the connection that when Laura Dern is no longer wearing the pink top and is now wearing the blue top at the end of the movie, my like child brain was like, oh, that's the same person for like the first time. That like I was just assuming different people in different clothes were different characters. And really? Yeah, that was the first time my brain made the connection of like, no, just because someone changes their clothes, they're not a different character or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it more in spoilers, I guess, too. The music's great in this. Obviously, the cinematography's great. The special effects.
John Williams score.
Yeah, of course.
We didn't mention that at all, but the most famed composer there is in Hollywood.
Yeah, at least in our generation, for sure.
That's iconic, an iconic theme. One of his many iconic themes, of course. But yeah, this one's very, very good all around.
I think the writing's real tight. What else was I going to say? Special effects. We haven't even mentioned that yet. They still, you can tell where they are, but they hold up for the most part too.
Yeah, it's really just the Brontosaurus in the beginning that kind of gets me where I'm like, that doesn't look great. But then once you get to the practical stuff with the T-Rex and going forward with that, it still looks great. Like, practical effects, as we say all the time, are going to hold up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably all I'll say in non-spoiler talk, I guess. But definitely a giant recommend from me.
Yeah. Blake?
Yeah, I mean, this is a movie. This is like the epitome of movies that I remember watching like as a child, being at like summer camps and things of that nature where they like sit you down and like wheel in like the big ass TV with the back on it
Sure.
and stuff, like, you know what I mean? So this stuff is just like it's straight nostalgia for me. So yeah, it was good to see this because this is one that I probably haven't seen since I was a child, to be honest with you. It's not necessarily my personal favorite movie by any means. So I never really had the need to go back to it, but I'd always appreciate it. To your guys' point, this is one where just watching it as an adult, I was like, holy shit, Samuel Jackson is in this movie. Like, that's just something I just never even correlated.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's not often you see Samuel L. Jackson in such like a background role.
I know it was so goofy,
and he's not very he's not very like over the top in it either.
Not at all.
So like that's very, I think, a little bit weird too. You're not used to seeing him like that.
Exactly. Yeah. He's not trying to take over in any way. Like, even if he had a cameo in another movie, he's playing it up so that you kind of remember him. But in this one, like, you don't really remember him. He's not really trying to be anyone he's not.
Hold on to your butts.
It was funny. But yeah, man, overall, it was a pleasant revisit on this one. I mean, it was almost like watching it. I wouldn't necessarily say new, right? Because I feel like I've seen it so many times as a child.
Sure.
But definitely the first time I've seen this movie, and I'd probably say 10 plus years. Yeah, overall, really like it. The effects hold up as we would expect. Steven Spielberg is obviously one of the masterminds of cinema, right? So whether it's this, E.T., War of the Worlds, I think we've been on here and talked about it plenty of times. So this is just another thing you can put in this catalog that's just a top tier, upper echelon movie. But yeah, that's kind of all I got, and we'll jump into spoilers.
Cool. Yeah, I believe that's a recommend all around. I'd be shocked if anyone said otherwise, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, so if you've not seen Jurassic Park and do not want to spoil it for you, go ahead. Check that episode description where I've left the timestamp you can jump to, where you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie. Hop upon the entropy list.
Hop upon.
Spoiler time. Spoiler time.
Spoiler sound has been played.
Yeah,
Shit goes down.
Shit goes down.
It sure
The
does.
Jurassic era.
Yeah, a little bit.
On to your butts.
Hold on to your butts.
A lot of great quotables from this one.
Yeah. It's great. I don't know. How do I talk about this movie? I'm having a tough time genuinely talking about it.
You start and just end when you want to end, Nathaniel. I'm gonna give you the floor.
Yeah, bro. Go ahead.
3 hours later, we'll still be here. No, I mean it's tough. So the park goes awry, I guess. Nedry is coinciding with a hurricane, and things start going poorly. The dinosaurs escape.
What was that guy's name at the beginning? Dodson.
Dodson.
Yeah.
We've got Dodson here.
Dodson.
I think for me, like from the first scene, where they're loading up the Velociraptor, and the guy falls down in between the gate and gets sucked into the cage with him, and Muldoon's holding on to his arm, screaming, "Shoot her!" at stuff. I was just like, yeah, you're just like, I'm in. Well, I don't know what just happened, but I'm in. And then yeah, I mean, obviously, I think too, as I've gotten older and I've watched it more and more and everything, there's obviously the kind of moral angle of the film that comes through a lot more of, as technology and
your Jeff Goldblum starts showing.
Yes, exactly.
Jeff Goldblum, without a doubt, the highlight of the film for me. Through and through. Like, I could watch that character act in any movie. Put him in a Marvel movie. Put him in Star Wars. I don't care. Not even Jeff Goldblum. Put that character specifically.
Well, do I have good news for you about the Lost World? Because he is the main character in that one.
Let's go.
But yeah, it's Dr. Ian Malcolm. He's great. Jeff Goldblum. At is arguably most Jeff Goldblumiest in some ways in this one, but it's it's pretty peak.
Yeah, I say that.
Laura Dern I think is incredible in this. I think Sam Neill's awesome in this. Richard Attenborough playing on kind of his brother David's naturalist theme that you have going on there. Oh, I was talking about the moral side of things. As technology advances, genetic research. It's a huge, kind of commentary on why we are building towards a new technology, how new technology gets funded, what the reasons behind that is, and what happens when you don't take the time to appreciate it or try and force technology and advancement and the nature into a structured, profitable environment. And that's obviously a huge part of it as well too. And then you have the kind of family in the background, Sam Neill saving the kids and all of that good stuff. But yeah, it's an incredible movie. I'm all aboard. I will watch it, I'm sure 150 more times before I go. I'm definitely in. It's hard for me to I guess like kind of wrap my head around how much it wasn't a process or a presence in Adam and Blake's lives, which totally makes sense too. Everyone has those kind of differences and everything.
That was -7, man.
Yeah, well, of course, I expected a little bit more for you, obviously.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say that because Back to the Future is such a huge part of my life, and
that
was, -15.
Yeah,
can't say too much, but still. Back to the Future is my Jurassic Park for you, for sure.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I'm sure we'll get that one on the podcast at some point.
It's coming. So touching back on that technology thing, that's something I feel like I was like watching this movie. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that's like such a scathing remark on the advancement of technology and things going faster than we have time to slow it down and think about what it's actually going to do. And especially looking at it in today's world where we have all this technology that has obviously like technology is good, but there's a lot of bad that comes with that, and we're kind of starting to see a lot of ramifications of that. Looking back on that now, that was 30 years ago, and we've just continued to just snowball in this advancement of technology that's going faster and faster. We're not having the ability to slow down and consider what it is exactly that we're doing. Instead, it's people like that lawyer who are just looking to monetize it. The second that they see profit, they're all on board because he's so hesitant. What's it gonna do? What is this attraction? Like, if the investors aren't on board, I'm not on board.
First thing he says is, "We're gonna make a fortune off this place."
Exactly. Yeah. And there's so many bits in this movie that like lead towards that kind of message. Like just small things here and there, like that line or other stuff like that, where when they're in that like boardroom and everyone's disagreeing with Hammond and he's like, well, I can't believe the only one who's agreeing with me is the blood-sucking lawyer.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. It's littered throughout the movie, more so in the first half because the second half does definitely turn into survival. Let's get off the island. And there's not as much time for that, which is totally fine. Obviously, I love that second half of the movie. So many tense moments. The Velociraptor scene is iconic, I would say.
Yeah.
When they're in the kitchen. So, yeah, but that was something going back and like watching it with this fresh, that was kind of what I was referencing the non-spoilers, like looking at it with the fresh film knowledge that I have was something I was very happy to pick up on and then kind of read into. Oh man.
Adam just lost his lights.
I did. I'm going to go figure out why they turned off. Give me 1 second here, folks.
Oh God.
Right in the middle of the review.
You just see him fly across the screen.
Paranormal activity. Yeah.
Or he like he comes back and he does like the witch scene.
The witch scene.
Or maybe it's not the witch, it's the God, what's that other like famous one where they're like running around in the woods?
Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project.
I'm
yeah.
so scared.
He's like crying and shit.
There's someone in the corner.
They're like, oh yeah, you're not even supposed to be in there. You gotta get out.
Yeah.
Oh, lights are back.
Did you ever watch the remake of the Blair Witch, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I did. Saw it in theaters, actually.
Really?
Yeah. That's Adam Wingard. He's the guy that did Godzilla vs. Kong.
I think someone from the office of the apartment building didn't know I was in here and opened the door, turned off the lights, and obviously not hearing me talk, and then locked the door. So I unlocked it.
Are you locked in?
So I'm locked in.
I know. That's what I was worried about, because I came in here seeing if I could lock it myself, so no one else came in, and I couldn't without the key. So I was like, "Fuck! What if someone locks it? I can't get out." I did test it. I am able to get out of this room, so we're all good, and the lights are back on, and they can piss off. So.
Yeah, we're potting.
Anyway, yeah, we're potting. You
Yeah,
can't
we're
interrupt
pooting.
a pod like that.
But yeah, and I think the boardroom seems incredible. Just that whole conversation around there. I think, as I kind of referenced earlier, I think the exposition in this movie is layered in perfectly, where it's like you get the little Mr. DNA bits and stuff, and it's like you buy it because you want to know the answers to those questions, and it gives you the answers in that little, hey, we're going on the ride to see how this works and everything like that. It's exposition that doesn't make the movie come to a screeching halt. Well, it's like, here's our plan and this is what we got to do kind of thing, And then following up with that as well, too, I think the scene with Laura Dern and Richard Attenborough where they're eating the ice cream and he's saying, I wanted to do it for real this time. I wanted to not have the flea circus or anything like that. And she's just like, well, you don't understand. It's still the same thing. You're still in that world. This is you say you're building dinosaurs, but you're not even doing that. You're just making what you think a dinosaur is, and then trying to sell it as real or anything like that too. So, yeah, I mean, just a lot of good themes and ideas and everything woven really well within the storyline itself.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how you look at this movie in the lens of a child and like where you were when you first saw it, and as you grow up, you relate to it a little bit more, and you actually realize that like real life consequences exist, and things like that, and it's cool because you just get to kind of grow up with this movie. And it's only going to age the better your thought process is behind that kind of stuff. And you don't even have to look like deep into like the filmmaking aspects of it. It's like all pretty superficial and it's really easy to grasp at, but they are really great themes like Nathaniel said. And yeah, man, just mad love for this movie. Score is something that it always sticks out to me in this. It's just a constant hum, or if somebody's whistling it or anything like that, I'm like, it's Jurassic Park. I was like, let's go. So super iconic from a score standpoint. And I mean, yeah, dude, the technology they use for the dinosaurs and everything like this, like it's awesome. The Triceratops scene where they're just like he's like laying on it and you can just see he's so happy. And it's really good. But yeah, super well acting, awesome plot line. I actually forgot something that I did watch. I ended up watching Ted 2 just because it was fucking on.
Okay.
And in that movie, there's a scene where they crash the car into a barn, and then they're like sitting outside, and there's like a fire, and they see this field, like massive field of weed. And Ted and God, I forget his name.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg's character do nothing but smoke weed in that movie.
Right.
And he like turns his head and the Jurassic Park theme song starts showing up and he rotates his head to look at the pot field, and then even Ted goes as far as to saying, They do move in herds.
That's
I was
awesome.
just like, it's so funny. Just that scene popped up, and I totally forgot that it was in that movie, and that we had just obviously watched this. But yeah, dude. I mean, that's how iconic this movie is. Scenes have been acted out in current movies or more recent movies, and just goes to show how fucking awesome it is.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is one of the most iconic movies of all time. Everyone knows Jurassic Park. Even if you haven't seen it, you've heard of it. Like, I really don't know if I've ever encountered someone who doesn't know what it is or kind of what it's about. That kind of thing. And that score too, it's up there. I mean, all of John Williams' scores are. I think he has probably the most iconic music in Hollywood. Every single one that you kind of know off the top of your head is probably John Williams.
How many Jurassic Park movies did they make?
The next one will be the 6th one. So there is Jurassic
the
Park.
originals 3, and then there's 3 remakes.
Yeah, well, reboots, requels, really.
Sure.
Requels.
Yeah, because there's Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park: The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, and now Jurassic World Dominion.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of the sequels, or at least I think I maybe watched them when I was younger. There's one with the pterodactyls, right?
That's the 3rd one.
That's the 3rd one. Okay, I've seen bits and pieces of that one, or maybe I've seen the whole thing. I just don't remember it all the way through. But I definitely haven't seen like all. Like, they would be new watches for me. Basically, I haven't seen any of them all the way through.
I would definitely.
Besides the worlds.
I would definitely consider watching the 2nd one for sure. I mean, it's one of Spielberg's few sequels. It is directed by Steven Spielberg and the same writer, David Cope. Not as like iconic for sure, and definitely a little bit different and meaner in some ways, but still really, really good.
Yeah. The 2nd one is Spielberg as well, right? Is the 3rd one?
The 3rd one is Joe Johnston, the director of Captain America, the First Avenger, and The Rocketeer.
How you doing in MK over there, Blake? I've been hearing you.
Just one. So
yeah, let's go.
Me, but I got him.
Good. There you go. I'm glad for you.
And he's actually a reptile skin, so shout out Jurassic Park.
Oh, there we go. So, it's all tie-in, you know.
Yeah.
It's all tie-in. Do we have anything else we really want to touch on here before we head out and put this on?
I was telling Carolia, because she's like, "How much longer do you have to go?" And I was like, "Oh, we're getting to like the main review, so we probably got like maybe 20, 30 minutes." And she's like, "No way, it's Jurassic Park." And I was like, the hard part is, and I'm like, this always happens, is we've seen it so many times and it's so timeless that it's so hard to talk about more.
Sure.
Because we've talked about it so much, and I can't even remember what I may have brought up a point 5 years ago when I was talking to like Justin about it that I don't remember now.
Yeah.
Right,
and I was like, there's just so much in this movie to consume and digest that it's hard to talk about it for so long.
Especially when none of us have seen a movie for the first time, because I feel like that happened with Inception when we first reviewed that. That was only like episode 11 or 12 or something like that. And we got to that review and I was really excited for it. And I remember when we started it, I was just kind of like, when we finished the review, I was like, I guess we really don't have that much to add. There's, it's been the most talked about movie for a decade. So
yeah, it's talked about it for some time.
Yeah.
I mean, and then one thing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'd say one thing I did kind of want to add in while watching this is that just the straight nostalgia factor. Like, it's so cool seeing this, and like I think it was Nathaniel's point, maybe it was Tyler, where it just like it literally transplants you back in time to like sitting there watching this, right? And that's why it was funny when Adam's saying like, I almost watched this in 720p, and we're all like shit, dude, that's how you probably should have watched this. You know what I mean?
like on VHS again.
Yeah, really, dude. So it's cool to kind of have those memories, and like it just makes you bring up like, I wonder what those movies are going to be that like come out now that you're going to watch it in 20 years from now, and you're just going to get transplanted back to 2020,
the Green
2013, Knight. Or sure, you know what I mean. So it may be the Green Knights, it may be the 90s.
The Batman.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's cool, man. It's as they say, art is just kind of one of those things that are just, they're time capsules. anybody who watches Morbius and gets fucking time and gets time like
I
that,
didn't put that in the
during
news,
Morbius
but did you guys see that it
is
got?
insane.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I didn't put that in the news, but did you guys see that it was put back in theaters and they lost even more money on
Yeah,
it?
it made 1,000 or like
Yeah, because the internet
280K.
made it a meme that they basically like wanted Morbius to come back to theaters, and so Sony was like, "Oh, okay," and then they made another theatrical release of it, and it made like $85,000 in one weekend.
Yeah, it's funny now. Speaking of the things I watch on YouTube, so I follow a ton of like cinema accounts, things of that nature. But it's this one guy, and he just get a complete deep dive on like how certain movies fail or how certain movies succeed. And he did one on Morbius last week, and I didn't even watch Morbius. But I was like, let me watch this guy's like take on this, and he just completed like shitting on that movie.
I did see a
don't
tweet
think
though that was like, I know we're all shitting on Morbius, but we have to consider the idea that if we somehow trap Jared Leto into playing this character for a couple more movies, he won't be in other movies. So maybe it's a battle, win the battle or lose the battle, win the war situation. And I was like, yeah, that's fair.
I don't hate Jared Leto as much as everyone else does, but
I know
He's just-
Nathaniel does. Nathaniel can't stand him.
He's
if
just
I remember correctly.
probably a pedophile. Like, you know,
Oh,
not
okay.
that great.
if that comes out, I'm not surprised.
For
Sure,
gonna say- I was gonna say,
I'm on
it's
board.
not-
I'm not supporting pedophiles here. I'm certainly on board with Nathaniel. If it comes out that he is in fact a pedophile, please lock him up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not so much of what kind of acting ability he has for Nathaniel. It's more or less that he's just kind of a bag of shit.
Just shitty person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that'll do it sometimes, man. There's some shitty people out there.
Allegedly.
That's valid.
I'll preface that with allegedly, but look into it, folks. Anyways.
Anyway, let's get this ranked. Welcome back, listeners. I'll probably do a timestamp to like 3 minutes ago because we talked about a lot of stuff that wasn't spoilers. So anyway, welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and rank Jurassic Park up upon the Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies, rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you'd like to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description, where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Now, gentlemen.
Present your case. Do you want it above or below The Shining? That's all I need to know.
Yeah, let Nathaniel rock out first. That's what we need to hear.
Let's get that outlier out of the way.
I feel like
I know this is going top 8 for Nathaniel.
I
guess.
I
Bare
feel
minimum is top 5, I think.
I would like to address the squadron. I feel like I have
You have the floor.
I have the reputation on this podcast of lifting some movies up by giving them high ratings in the past. Most notably, E2 Mama Tambien.
E2 Mama Tambien.
Yes, yeah, which I still maintain holds a spot.
Pants.
Anyways,
Labyrinth.
I genuinely, and like I mean this with every fiber of my being, I don't know how I can rank this any lower than 2 for me. Like,
Okay.
I thought I was gonna say something like a 12.
no.
Something of that nature.
No, I'm not shocked he went with 2. Not
Like,
shocked at all.
and the only reason is because that The Shining is like, it's right there neck and neck with me. But like,
Sure.
I've tried to impress on everyone over the course of this podcast how foundational this movie is for me, and that I do genuinely think it is that good.
Yeah, it is a great movie though. All jokes aside.
However,
yeah.
I understand there is going to be a large amount of nostalgia and just, personal bias with this one, but I want everyone to know I have to have this at 2. So I'm sorry
Okay.
if anyone feels any differently about that, but it'll all come out in the wash, I suppose. So yes, the only question is it above or below The Shining? Fuck. Because that's like childhood movies versus obviously young adult movies, like similar levels of importance to me.
Different genres.
Different genres.
Different famed directors.
Different famed directors as well, too.
So many things to consider. 13 years apart. The Shining and
True.
Jurassic Park.
True.
Different actors. Now I'm just listing things. Score. Music's
Yes,
different.
they are different movies, Adam. I am
Yeah,
aware
they
of that
are.
much. Fuck. Yeah, I think like I'm okay with having it 2. Part of my heart wants it to go at 1. But I feel like I'm in the same boat that like Tyler was when Pan's Labyrinth was up here as well too. I'm gonna place it at 2 as my concession to the group that I won't put it at number 1.
No, hey, no, this is your ranking.
No,
if you
no.
want to put it at 1, put it at 1. I would not blame you at all.
I'm gonna put it. Fine, fuck it. I'll put it at 1. It's
All right.
going at 1.
He said it. He
All right.
said it. He said it.
Strong case.
All right. Now for the actual review.
Yeah, go ahead, boys.
No, I seriously don't think this is gonna fall too far down from that, even as I'm looking at the list personally. But Ty, do you want to take a crack at it? Do you have an idea?
Yeah. I would put, for me, and where just I've come from, Pan's Labyrinth I think is probably where like more of my neck and neck is rather than The Shining.
Sure.
But obviously I think Pan's Labyrinth has been a great injustice.
At number 4.
And so I'd actually probably start fighting with the fact that I think this is. I really like The Shining, and obviously because I've become a little bit of a whore myself. I really, really do have like a newfound love and respect for The Shining that I just did not have growing up. But I think I'm gonna go 2.
Damn. All right.
Because I do like this better than Django, and I do like this better than The Arrival, and they are very, very, very close. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 2.
Okay, very fair. BlakeHolder.
Yeah. I'm certainly not as high as you.
It's all right, Blake. Feel free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
not
wait-
gonna go.
He's not even entertaining the thought of. You might have muted yourself here, Blake.
Yeah, I think you did. Blake, you're muted.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, he's
muted.
flowing too.
Hello.
You're muted.
He
He's
might
just
not be able to hear us.
yeah.
He might have deafened himself. I think he deafened himself.
Blake, we cannot hear you.
He cannot. We can't.
We can't hear you. He was flowing too. He was into it as
I
well.
really wanted to hear everything he was saying there. It's unfortunate, but.
Hear you yet?
Oh, there we. Oh, you're back.
You don't got me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. Yeah, it must have been because my MacBook was about to die, so I plugged the charger in, and it's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
Where was I at?
Yeah, we were just saying.
Hear anything.
All we heard
Yeah.
was you're not. Yeah, you're not doing 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
And then we saw you start in a
I'm not
very
as-
impassioned monologue, and we missed all of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to recap it. So yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm not as high as the other 2 gentlemen. That being said, though, I mean, I still think it's a great movie. I can respect everything it's done for the movie culture and cinema and things of that nature. The cinematography is awesome, directed by Steven Spielberg, who, as we said, is up there as with the Tarantinos.
Oh yeah.
The things of that nature, right? So
The Kubricks.
I understand all those things. Martin Scorsese, things of that nature.
Sure.
Looking at the list here, I mean, it's certainly not going in my top 5. I mean, I think from an objective standpoint, I start to look at like 8, 9, 10 area, right? I love 9 Days a lot though, so it is kind of difficult for me to put that over that, but that's like a personal biasness. Green Room, whatever, Green Knight. I think I'm okay putting this at 10.
Where would you put it? I feel like Tyler and I have influenced you though.
You have, yeah, you absolutely have.
Where would you put it if it was just you, man?
If it was like my personal entry list,
Yeah.
I mean, The Descent's maybe 3, right?
Okay, yeah, but
Nah,
you know
I
how
don't know.
this
I
is
mean,
played. You know, I
yeah.
don't use anyone else's ranking
Okay.
kind of influence yours. It's hard to
Then
say that obviously because it's gonna
I know
influence it maybe
it's hard.
subconsciously, but
Right.
you know, you got to try to push
Yeah,
through that.
you
Don't
know-
feel like we're gonna be mad at you if you put it at, you know, below American
No.
Pickle. I think
Yeah.
Nathaniel might stop talking to you, and you know, it might be difficult to do this podcast. But you know, if that's where your heart is, that's where your heart is. You know,
If you put this below American Pickle, I don't think Blake would be mean enough to do that. I don't think he's has.
I don't think I could win in a fight against you, but I would try.
He might be muted
you
again.
might,
Yeah. You are muted again.
Yeah.
Well, at least he can hear us this time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Blake, you're gonna have to rank it with hand signals.
Google Sign Language.
What does the middle finger mean? I don't know.
yeah. Audio podcast. We can make him say what we want.
I think you're
He
back.
hates this movie. All right,
guys
it's
got me?
below.
Yeah, we got
There
you.
he is, there he is.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know what happened. I think maybe I'm hitting my charger.
I don't know. I've
Yeah.
had weird things happen to my MacBook too with the audio. It happens often. But
Shout out Apple. Personally, I guess I'm probably pushing it more to, and I heard Tyler's comments and Nathaniel's comments and things of that nature. I'm probably looking at this thing probably around like a 29, 30,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Like if I can give like
Hey, there's 100 movies on the list.
Watch this movie. You know what I mean? Like I probably won't watch this movie again for another like 7 years, to be completely honest.
That's totally fine.
so where do you want your official ranking to be then at?
I'm a reasonable guy. I'll split the difference of that. So I was at 30, and then I originally gave 10, so we'll put it at 20, and I think that's fair.
So 20 below Judas, or sorry, below Judas and above Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, please put it above Spider-Man.
Okay.
That's respectable. I'm
is
totally allowing it. Yeah, there's 100 movies on the list, guys. Like at some point,
Yeah,
like there some of our favorites are gonna be up there, and
It
everything.
says 20, and it's like compared to the movies we have in the top 30, that is
Right.
not
It's
bad
totally
at all.
fine.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's me being a very generous person.
It is. No, you're correct. My ranking is so interesting because I could go so many different places with it. Where I have that ranking, where it's like, where do I, as Adam Schwartz, want to put this for my overall enjoyment of it? And it's not nearly one or two. It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
up there
that's
with
fine.
Nathaniel or Ty. But I've said this on the podcast before, specifically for The Shining, I believe, which sits at number 1 currently on the Entropy list, where I feel like this list for me is a factor of several different things. It's my enjoyment of it, you know, rewatchability to an extent, but also like how objectively good the film is in and of itself.
Right.
And I think when you have a movie that 29, almost 30 years after its release has stood the test of time as a cult classic film like that, it's hard to ignore that fact, especially when you're kind of considering this, because objectively, this is a very well-made movie. Something that Nathaniel kind of talked about in the non-spoilers was like, you know, it doesn't waste a lot of time with what it's doing, and that's one of the reasons that I love Back to the Future so much. Is like there's not one wasted line in that movie. Everything that is said and everything that is done is pushing the story forward, and this movie does pretty much the same exact thing. You are not really wasting much time. You're never really confused as to why a character is doing something, or you never feel like this movie's not bloated with anything. It's 2 hours, but every bit of that 2 hours is used effectively, and that's very good storytelling, and that's what Spielberg does really well. So I have to kind of factor that into where I'd want to put it, because if I'm being honest, my overall enjoyment of it isn't that high, and I'd probably be closer to where Blake's at with that 29 or 30.
Sure.
But objectively speaking, it is probably
It's
one of the
hard.
best movies that we've reviewed as far as
Absolutely.
a film goes. So it is
Absolutely.
definitely kind of tough to put into context there. And it's I think I have to put it at 12.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
So it's
below
Whiplash.
and
Whiplash
above
that's
The
getting you?
Lighthouse. It's Whiplash and also Your Name,
Sure.
and then Get Out shortly above that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those three are just obviously incredible films for me, and they have everything under those, you know, kind of three categories that I kind of talked about and more. Like all of that stuff is included in those movies, and the just overall enjoyment of it is more on par with me. Whereas like I enjoy this movie, but I like those so much more, and those are I have some more personal connections like you do, Nathaniel, with those than I do to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And that's, just a kind of unfortunate how things shake out sometimes.
Well, and I think too, it falls into that thing of like, especially for me and Tyler, it's that, there's been movies that I've watched since then that I think are, maybe more impactful or more powerful or more, had gotten to me more emotionally or something like that. But there's also something of just being like, your favorite movie from when you're a kid is actually good. Like, it's
right.
there. You watch so many things when you're growing up, and just some things stick with you. And there's always some movies that you'll have that you'll love unconditionally, but they're bad movies, kind of thing, or that isn't kind of viewed in that same way. But literally, like, just my favorite movie or one of my favorite movies, without a doubt, is actually good and is actually like cinematically significant or anything like that. That's just. To kind of, again, give listeners some of that kind of feedback or maybe reasoning why it's so up there for me and Ty as well, too.
100%. 100%. So I feel like balancing all those things out, 12 is just kind of where it is for me. Because if I'm leaning more towards the filmic end of that spectrum, I think it has to go in the top 5.
Right.
Because the other one I would compare that to, and the other one that has a similar value of, a classic film is Halloween.
Sure.
That's in the top 10 at 6. So that's kind of where I was looking originally. It was kind of closer to 6, but I just enjoy Halloween much more than this in some ways.
No, I get it.
And just, that kind of thing.
I'm with you on that. That was close to like my original cutoff was like looking at like Halloween, Prisoners, Get Out, and Inception. I was like, that's really tough.
Yeah.
Then I kind of had some personal biases. But overall, with you, great movie. None of us think this movie is objectively bad by any means. As you know, the entry list just comes down to personal interest, replayability, how much you like the movie, how much it's impacted you as an individual. And you can see this movie's had various impacts on us throughout different stages of our lives. Some to a huge impact, some to very minimal. So,
for sure.
Well, averaging out all of our scores, I will let you guys know it is landing in the top 10.
Oh boy.
Which I'm sure Nathaniel is very happy about. It lands at an average of 8.75, meaning we do have to tie break it with Get Out. And Nathaniel, I'm very pleased to inform you, Get Out has 7.7 and Jurassic Park has an 8.2 on IMDb.
Nah.
So it edges out Get Out, which will stay in the top 10 at number 9.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, if we wanted to put Get Out above it, like that's not too bad. The other thing, like, really, it's like that, and I kind of like having it next to Inception too, like just right above Inception. But
I'm fine with it having it at 8. If you guys do want to put it below Get Out, I don't care, because it is 8.75. It's not like it was like 8. It could be leaning towards 9. Tyler, do you have any opinion there?
It's 8.
Stick it at 8.
Yes, sir.
All right, I think I'm cool to stick it at 8.
It is. We'll keep playing by the book, fellas.
I'm sorry, Blake. One day we'll knock American Pickle
Blake,
further down just to compensate.
Blake does still have Hereditary holding strong and Arrival up there.
Right. I'm good with that.
At 3 and 5.
Yeah.
That and Arrival.
Yeah.
And Prisoners, for that matter, hold me up pretty strong.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I am very sad to see Your Name get knocked out of the top 10. It was inevitable, but
first one knocked out the top 10 in a while.
Yeah, that was our first entry to the top 10. Let's see, that was Your Name, episode 41. Get Out was episode 40. So we had back to, it's been since Your Name, which was episode 41. That episode was done in like January, February of 2021.
64 movies later.
So it's been quite a bit, over a year since we've had something crack the top 10, which is wild to say, actually.
We need to crack the top 10 sound.
Yeah, we do.
Like a
gong?
Yeah, or a gong. A gong works too.
Yeah, I think a gong would be good. Well, whatever that sound is, maybe I'll insert it in post.
There you
but
go.
Anyway. That's Jurassic Park slotted in at number 8. How do you feel about that, Nathaniel?
I'm cool with it.
You're cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Cool. So we just have to get Back to the Future at number 7, and I will be great. everything.
That would be kind of actually a fun weekend one time when we were like, or a fun like series sometime when we were like running low on content maybe or something. Just like the four of us, each of us have to do one of those like DNA movies that you will fight for pretty hard as well. And then each week, each one of us can have one.
That'd be fun. Like a month. If we have
a month, a back row month where we all just pick one that's like, hey, I will fight for this one. And hold up there.
Iron Man 3, here we come, baby.
Hey.
People call me a terrorist. I consider myself a teacher. God, what a good movie. Well, let's get on out of here, folks. It's late for me. And you know what? It could be late for you, dear listener. So we're going to head on out of here. Next week's review, of course, is Jurassic World Dominion.
Woo!
What are our thoughts for this one? I haven't seen and don't really plan on rewatching any of the other Jurassic Worlds, so I'm just gonna kind of go in and see what happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't say my expectations are sky high. I'm in like of the small camp, I feel like, that actually really likes Fallen Kingdom. I especially likes how insane it goes in its second half. But I just don't know if that same energy is going to be in this one at this point. So but I'm excited to see the old cast back. So that'll be interesting at the very least.
It will be. All right.
No 5-star review, but
no 5-star review. That's unfortunate. What do they get if they leave a 5-star review?
They get us reading that 5-star review out here on the podcast. It can be mean, it can be funny, it can be nice, it can be good, it can just say how great of a podcast we are. But unless it's 5 stars, it's not getting read out. And if it is, I'll read it out for you.
Cool. If you don't want to contact us that way, you can also contact us via email, where you can send us any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, anything of that sort. If you got something you want us to hear, maybe you already submitted a 5-star review because you can only do one of those, or maybe you got a fun question for us to answer at the end of the show here, fun and casual, just some light banter, send it our way to backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. You can also share the podcast. That's a great way to help out the show. Share with a friend, a family member, maybe I was about to say evil scientist, but no one's really evil here. You know, he has decent intentions, I would say, but maybe you got a philanthropist who's restarting a dinosaur park, and
there you go.
You got a lot of dinosaurs. I've said this before, we're always looking to get into new markets. If we can get into that Jurassic market, I think we have a really good opportunity there.
Paleontologist market is just huge for podcasts. All they're doing is uncovering dinosaur bones. They got nothing to do but time to listen, so we're waiting for it. We
are here for your dinosaur digging needs. You can follow us on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, on Twitter at Banter Row, and our YouTube, it's just Back Row Banter. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
What up? Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there logging some things, giving some reviews. So yeah, follow me on there. You can keep up with the things I'm watching. I really wish they'd add TV shows on there, though. That's like one thing they definitely need to implement on that. Yeah, on that platform. So
they have a few, but it's very few and far between.
Really?
I think Euphoria is on there or something like that, or like Loki. A lot of the Marvel shows for fact are on there. Like Loki is and stuff like that. But I agree. I think it'd be smart of them to add in TV. I just think they want to be like seen as like
the movie the
movie file kind of app and social media platform. And I think once they dip their toe into TV, it's no longer going to be seen as that. But I agree. I think they should add TV if they want to really widen their market. But yeah,
for sure. But yeah, that's it for me. Nathaniel.
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at @nsgingrich. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. The Sandpiper Tapes is my other podcast. Something will happen on there at some other point, but enjoy it. And Tyler, where can the people find you?
Twitch.tv/UltraBajo87. I like to stream. I like to play video games. We've been having some fun on there lately. So come on down. And Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, all Tyler Vidales, VIDALES. Adam.
You can find me on Twitter at H24 and on Letterboxd at Aish, I think that's it over here. I am in DC for all of June and July, so I would just ask for some patience. Patience if episodes get delayed or aren't up right every Wednesday morning. It might be harder for me to get them up every Wednesday morning like I usually am because not as easy for me to stay up late here. So lots of factors go into that, but some weeks might get canceled, some weeks might be delayed, some weeks might be late. Bear with me here as I am spending the summer in DC. So yeah, and if you hear any pops from the mic, that should be fixed soon. The pop filter's coming tomorrow, as far as I can tell. So that should be a 1 episode thing. But anyway, I think that's it here for episode 105. Join us next week for a review of Jurassic World Dominion. Thank you all for listening, especially if you made it to this far into the episode. And we'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other, folks, and we will BRB. Life finds a way.
Thanks for coming back. We appreciate you, and thanks for spreading the word if you did, because that helps us grow, and that's what we want to do, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate you. So, other than that, just be good to one another. Life does find a way, and it could be short, could be long. You never know. So just tell that person in your life that you love them, and we'll BRB.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for the support as always. As I always kind of go on here, just with the themes of the months throughout the year. June is LGBTQ plus Pride Month. So please be supportive of people, regardless of their sexuality and sexual interests and things of that nature. So that's all I got. We'll BRB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Recording is started.
Did you just now start it?
I just did. Yeah. You got 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds.
Close enough on the timer here. I saw you motion towards the mixer like 10 seconds ago, so I thought that's when you started it. But
Salt baited.
all good. Yeah, this is first episode was recorded on my laptop technically, but this is my first time doing it remote on my laptop because every single time, even if I'm at school or if I'm at home doing it remote, it's on my desktop.
Sure.
So this will be interesting. Interesting setting to do in it as well. I can give you guys a little panorama.
Very business profesh.
Yeah, I'm in just an empty ass classroom in the lobby of my apartment building.
Is it like so it's like an apartment complex that they put you in?
It's not a complex, it's just an apartment building. But it's technically there are signs around the building that have Howard University attached to them, so I believe it's somewhat associated with the university.
Okay.
Like Howard University, and it's like kind of university housing in some respect. And then over the summer, what I'm assuming they do is rent it out for internships and
Sure.
coming from all over the place. Because the place that the place that like the group is renting it from is called Wish Washington Internship Student Housing. Like it's literally just for interns over the summer, but it's got like Howard signs and stuff over it. So I'm pretty sure it's kind of some kind of university affiliation that they then transfer over to like just general public housing over the summer.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice spot. I can't really complain. It's free. Small things here or there that I'm like, wish it was better, but like it's not bad. Like it's a decent spot. The location's really good. There's a lot of good spots as far as like restaurants and food and amenities around us. Target's like a 15-minute walk.
Did you know anybody that was going there with you, or you just kind of met the people that are in the same program?
The person I knew the most was Noah 2's girlfriend is actually out here.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
at least you know somebody though.
I knew her, but I've only met her like twice before coming out here. Two or three times. Like she would never really come around the house. He would always go to her place last year.
Well, you're gonna get to know her.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so she would. I've met her before, but I haven't met her like that. Like, don't know her that well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So she was like the only person I actually really.
that's cool though.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I've already. I got here Friday. This is day 5, I guess. And I'm already like really cool with almost everybody here. There is
Yeah.
like, so there's only 6 guys. We're all in one apartment together. And it's 14 girls then, and it's 6 to an apartment. So there's 2 apartments full of girls that are from this group, and then there's 2 people from the group that got put in with like other people. But I've only really talked to like the other girl like one of the other girl apartments. There's like these 8 girls that I like barely seen. I've seen a few of them, but there's some I've like barely seen. Like, so I don't know what they're doing, why they haven't been coming out, but. I don't know. Talking to meeting a lot of new people. Feel like I've already got a lot of good friends, and it's only day 5. But over the weekend, we just spent a ton of time like doing random shit and going around. We went to like the National Mall and everything, kind of on Saturday. Saw a lot of stuff, and it's been fun so far. Nice thing is one of my fraternity brothers. He's not here through the program, but he found an internship on his own, is paying for his own housing, and he's out here. So I even have that out here as well.
Nice.
So he's not too far. But it's been some doing like I said before, the radio broadcasting. So I'll be like interviewing the small bands and artists, and some of them, as I'm like getting these like email requests, or my like boss is basically sending me people to reach out to. Some of them are like not that small, like going on tour with like sold out shows and really big hits. So depending on who I'm interviewing, like some of them might not even be that small of artists. But
That's
once I
cool.
get in a rhythm of it is. But once I get actually get these interviews scheduled and get in that rhythm of producing the features every week, it'll be I'll have a good rhythm down, and it'll be pretty good. But just kind of getting to that point this week has been interesting so far. I'm also an hour ahead, so it's 10:09 currently. So this will be
Yeah,
interesting.
that's wild.
Yeah, it's something I forgot to consider until I mentioned that yesterday. It's like, oh fuck, I am an hour
I didn't
ahead.
even account for that either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't something that crossed my mind. Then I was like, shit. Well, if we usually record at like 9, 8, we typically get on around 8 or 8:30. Realistically, you start recording on 9. That's actually I'll push back an hour. I'm like, I can't keep my roommate up that long when he usually goes to bed to bed. So far, he's gone to bed like around 10:30, no later than 11, and then because he has to get up early for his internship. So
Is it like is it like a 2-bedroom like apartment, or is it like you're in kind of like the same, is like hotel style?
Like a dorm.
it's 6 to an apartment, 3 bedrooms, 2 to a room, and 2 bathrooms. So 3 to a bathroom, 2 to a room.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, which for 2 months, I can't complain. Like, obviously, I'd like it if I had my own room and some privacy, because especially when like I'm gonna be around people basically for this entire 2 months straight. Like, I'll have very low time. Like, it would have been nice to have my own room. But again, it's free. It's only for 2 months. I can't really complain. It's pretty nice, and it's been fun. Hanging out with like new people and just getting to know everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of
True.
forced into this environment.